I'm very happy that all of you came here today to join, I believe, one of the best people dealing really with cyber security for critical infrastructure. And if you see the ages, unless Lior, who is the young one, all of them are dealing and still did it with their hands. And we are going to speak about the future today. And the future, while we are speaking about private networks, 5G, etc., is not the same solution that we gave till today. And therefore, I'm very happy that I was invited by some of the people here, like OpsWatt, who showed me that they are dealing with new solutions, and I believe all of you are dealing with it as well. I would like, first of all, to thank very much to Liat. Applause, listen, Israel. Without Liat, Professor Ben Israel, Gilad Rob, and all the entire team, I was not able to be here and speak with you. And of course, to the Israel National Cyber Directorate, Dedi, and his team, who did a great job in order to bring me here. The panelists, they will present themselves, but I would like, first of all, to say that it's an amazing panel. Udi Roth is the CISO of Mekorot. Mekorot is the main company dealing with water utilities in Israel. The second, this is Mr. Roth. Second one, Alberto, nobody calls him this way. Deto, Hasson, VP CISO of ICL Group. Yigal Gueta, the founder and CEO of SCADASUDO. Lior Ateret is coming from a big American company, so it's a long title. Director, Global Cyber Research, Country Leader, Electrification Software Israel, GE, Vernova. I did it well? Good. Aviram Bachar, he's the director of ICS Center in the Israeli National and responsible for sectorial and critical infrastructure at the Israel National Cyber Directorate. Why I'm so happy to see you, so many people dealing with OT, because when I left the Israeli Cyber, at that time, Bureau, I identified OT as one of the most developed thing that is going to happen. And your company was, I know them very well, was one of the first one to start and take it over. And now it starts to boom. What we don't have to do as before, we don't have to educate the market anymore. Hopefully it will be a great thing. Legacy. It is a very conservative area. And therefore, we need to have modernization and new technology. And we are going to have it. The new technology, I will just mention AI and others, brought us to the fact that we have to deal with innovation on the OT security, and today we are going to speak about it. And if we'll have enough time, I would like you also, from the audience, to ask some questions about it. But we have to be very, very concerned, because we cannot just run quickly. We have to see what are going to happen if we will not do it at the right way. I remember when I was at the Israel National Cyber Directorate, head of the sector, civilian sector, I was meeting a water facilities company. And I told them, well, what is going to happen if one of their controllers is going to stop working? They say, Rami, it is working for 40 years. It is going to work another 40 years. I said, yes, but if there is a malfunction, what are you going to do? You cannot find it, not at Schneider Electric, not at ABB, not at others. I said, don't worry, Rami, we go to eBay and we buy a new and old one. So things are changing, and we are going to speak about it a lot today. And Dedi, I'm going to repeat what you said when we started, because not so many people were here. The innovation lab called the INCL in Beersheba is, as a matter of fact, the natural partner for adopting these new technologies. When we are going to speak about all these new technologies, and I'm not going to speak more than 1 minute only, I'm going to highlight some of the areas that are interesting us, and we will focus only on some of them. We are speaking about integration with legacy systems. We are speaking about risk management, skills gap, which unfortunately, if there will be an IT meeting here, we will see much more. Regulatory compliance, which we are looking for, supply chain security, incident response, interoperability, so many things that we need to discuss and see how we can deal with them. Not further ado, I'm going to come directly to the people here next to us, and I'm going to start, Yigal, with your permission, with you, and each one of the panelists, if you would like just to comment, let me know. I see that some of them asked me whether we can speak in Hebrew, but unfortunately the American didn't learn Hebrew yet, so we'll do it in English. In the last 2 years, we have witnessed a rapid advancement in the ICS or OT world, both from attackers' side and the defender side, trying to cope with the swarm and attack on OT systems. One of the ways to deal with this rapid advancement is by rearranging and updating security standards. Can you give us a brief update on the progress made with the leading OT standards, please? And I believe that later some of you would like to comment as well. Yigal, please.
Hi, and good morning to everybody who made all this way, this weather. Regarding standards and regulations, there is a huge difference between what the US and the EU are doing, not mentioning the other big continents like Australia and New Zealand and Africa. But if we talk about the two main players, the things that both players are trying to do is create some kind of infrastructure, and based on this infrastructure to build standards that will guide critical infrastructure or the essential utilities according to the EU. We have in the last year new standards coming up from the EU, the NIS2, and from the US, the NIST 800. I don't remember the correct numbers. I always change it. 882 R3, which specifically deal with OT system, ICS systems, and basically what they are trying to do now is trying to create some kind of conformity between the US and the EU. The AEGIS team is trying to create some kind of discussions and creating some kind of unified system that will define the standard and requirements from OT systems. But I still see a long way to go from here, because they are still talking about the IT of the OT and not the OT itself. If you know the Purdue model, so nobody's speaking about first layer and layer one and second layer. They're only talking about the PLCs, HMIs, engineering stations, control servers. But today, and especially where we're talking about innovation, in a minute, I think Deto will speak about it. We are talking about IoT devices that are entering to this world. We're talking about using the internet as a medium. We're talking about a lot of connection to the cloud, using AI. This is still not being approached by the standards, but we see a great advancement in this area.
Thank you very much, Yigal. Since you would like to add?
So maybe just one thing that I would like to add. So from the vendor perspective, we see a lot of customers, like you said, each asking for different standard for their errands, always challenging. But maybe a different perspective, because I have the opportunity of attacking a lot of those systems with different regulations and seeing, what is forcing system to be more secure. And I think that probably the most successful one that I've seen is IC 62443. That is probably, from my perspective, the most effective in terms of making, ensuring that the product will be more secure and taking into the account the OT part of it. Nothing is perfect, and I think that in general, there is a sort of a false sense of security. You know, you can say that you are meeting a standard, but once you get into the details, there are so many different subsections and levels of meeting the standard. So just looking at just the title is not a good indicator of if a system is secure enough or not. But I think that this is probably the most comprehensive regulation that I have seen standard around it.
I don't know what is NIST doing this year about cyber OT, IoT. I know that they have a lot of work being done about this new technology, but I believe that we will find it very quickly because we are following NIST as a real partner to this. Let's come to Udi Roth. Udi is the CISO of Mekorot. Mekorot is, maybe I can say, the biggest or the only one dealing with water in Israel, a small country, you know. And we wish him luck at, while we're looking at what is going on in this region these days. But what we found out is when there is a kinetic attack, there are also cyber attacks. So I would like to ask you, Udi, about the supply chain. What measures are industries taking to ensure the cybersecurity of their entire supply chain, including components and software for multiple vendors? I believe that you face it every day.
Yes, I do. Let's say that supply chain attacks are one of the biggest risks in the last 2 years. We see many companies that were attacked we see many companies that were attacked, and many suppliers to other companies, something like software companies that sell software to others, and if they were attacked, their customers also attacked. So in the part of the cases, you buy services from companies, and they remote access your company, or they develop software for you, and you actually don't know what kind of what type of security and what posture they have. So we must check those companies or those suppliers to verify that their cyber posture meets our needs. Or in Israel, we have regulatory for the supply chain, and there we use some measures to protect ourselves. The first measure is to add the supply chain to the contracts and to the tenders. So when someone wants to go to a tender or to attend, he needs to stand up with all the needs that we give, and we check when he wants to do the job. We check him. But the biggest problem is also with the suppliers that we already have and didn't give them the needs before. So here we have to speak with them and to encourage them, and we wait for the renewal of the contract, and then they do the job.
And it doesn't take one day only, so we have to understand it, that it takes time. And before, I'm going now to ask Deto, and then I will ask Aviram, because Aviram is dealing with the INCL, and it's very important that all of you will understand what is the INCL this lab is doing together with the companies. But I will start with Deto, because Deto, you still dealing with all the legacy systems. So I would like to speak about integration and legal systems, and legacy systems, sorry. How can industries effectively integrate cyber innovation into existing legacy industrial systems without disrupting the operation? I'm sure that you are doing it every day.
Of course, we are disrupting the operation every day. This is our fun. of the day. If we stop the production for 10 minutes, it's 10 points. If we stop for half an hour, it's 12 points. But let's be more serious. We have to challenge the industry. This is my wording to this panel. If we are challenging the industry, we will have solution even for legacy and even for not legacy problem. I will elaborate. When we speak about today, what is the future? We speak about ML and AI. ML, machine learning, AI, artificial intelligence. And we want to interfere, to implement them inside the industry as today. And the industry, most of the industry are legacy, 10 years, 15 years, 12 years, 15 years, 20 years, but we still want to do it. So how we will do it? So we have to challenge the industry. We have a very good industry in Israel. I'm sure also in US. There are one or two here from US. And we are challenging them by giving them what we would like from them to do. How we would like them to connect between the cloud and the OT. It seems to be like a legacy, like a story. But this story can be done. If we ask the industry, connect the cloud to the OT directly, by giving the steps of security in the middle, like any kind of whitening system. But you do it automatically. You will get answer from the industry. They will do it in 5 minutes, in 4 minutes, in 3 minutes, in 10 minutes. It depends the time that you will ask them to do it, but they will do it. The moment you interrogate them, you insert them inside your systems, you have to be ready to pay. Putting in the industry technology inside to what you're doing is not cheap, but the ROI comes very fast. ROI is about 1 year to 2 years. You get the investment back. So my wording to you is be chatzuf. Chatzuf is in English. It's whatever you say, be chutzpah, be with chutzpah, be with courage, come with a challenge to the industry. Don't stay with the challenge in your location. Go with the challenge to the industry and give this to the industry. Come with the solution to you, and pay for the effort, interrogating it in your system, and then you will get the ROI in 1 year, 2 years, and you will win. Believe me, I'm speaking from doing and not from speaking.
Great, Deto. So I really hope that you have enough budget to deal with all the companies sitting here, because they are looking for new customers in order to come out with their new solutions. Cyber costs money. We understand it. One of the things being done by Prime Minister Netanyahu when he decided to establish the Israel National, at that time, Cyber Bureau, he had two main decisions. First of all, the responsible for cybersecurity of the state of Israel is Prime Minister. But Prime Minister has a lot of things to do, as you know, so he put it to the mission of the Israel National Cyber Directorate. The second thing that he did, and I believe it is still being done, is giving the Israeli National Cyber Directorate a huge amount of multi-millions dollars, because we had to understand that if the government is not doing its role and is not giving enough money, how do you expect your country to be secured? And now, just one example, I'm going to follow up what Deto said. Deto, you are facing every day with new technologies and you would like to check it, etc. But there is another mission done by the Israel National Cyber Directorate. I'm not their speaker, by the way. And I will ask our friend from the INCD to come out and tell us what is really done. How can you take a part in this? How much it is going to cost you, if it is going to cost you or not?
Well, the INCD is regulating approximately 36 companies in Israel, 18 of them in the OT infrastructures. We are regulating basically all the supply, the electricity chain from the gas to the fuel and electricity manufacturing. We have transportation also and water utilities, Mekorot, as the mainstream of the water in Israel. Basically, we work with the Rimon framework that is complying to the NIST cybersecurity framework. It also complies with the 42443. It's basically based on it. To make cybersecurity, it costs money. But we understand that the operational in this critical infrastructure making much more money to the companies, of course, but also give the stability to Israel. And basically, we don't take chances with these critical infrastructures. The main issue is connecting between new technologies and old technologies. It's like taking a Ferrari and 18-wheeler old Mac. Those are real-time systems that need to operate in every condition to give the stability of the civilians in Israel. And from the other side, there's the new technologies that combine in those systems. We push technology to this system, but we must assume that the safety is king in those systems. There is no technology that we're going to involve in those systems that will apply the safety or the operational side of those systems. Basically, we regulated those companies by a Rimon framework. It's a confidential framework. And as we say, the point is that many critical infrastructure was attacked during the 7 October war, the Iron Sword war, but there was zero cyber incidents in those critical infrastructure in Israel, and that say a lot. Basically, the regulation is working and is doing a good job, and those companies need to invest a lot of money, not only to achieve the level of the cybersecurity that needed, and to maintain it and keep the level of the cybersecurity updated.
Thank you very much, Aviram. I will ask one more question to Mr. Roth, and then I would like you to come out with the question, because I think it is much more important that we will listen to you and not only to me. So let's speak about money, because this is one of the main issues. Cost and budget constraints, as we call it. Given the potentiality high cost implementing robust security measures, what approaches are industries taking to achieve cost-effective solution? And I mean, what is your company doing?
Yes. Well, for the last, I think, 5 years, we can see that CISOs like me are, let's say, raging best of breed for every task. They buy, I think, if I count my systems or my tools, my cyber tools in my organization, it's something between 60 to 80 tools to deal with all the cyber risks. Now, if you have so many tools, you need personnel and you need expertise to use them, and also you have to pay for renewal, for a buy. And every tool costs a lot, and the renewal is a lot, and you need to take special personnel, and it is very, very expensive. So I think on the last year or two, we see many software suites that it's not the best of breed. I think that if we take good enough tools, will give us enough הגנה, ברח לי. Defense, yes. Security defense. And this is what we are starting to do now. Other way to reduce the cost is to take junior personnel and to grow them at your organization. Not all juniors, but when we can, we use juniors, and we also reduce the cost of the cybersecurity.
Since we are talking about money, since we are speaking about vendors and customers, what questions do you have? Please. Yes, please present yourself, sir. Okay, thank you.
It is very difficult. You have, as I said, you have to use many people and many expertise. That's it. And every tool is sending its logs to the systems, and we do collaboration of data. And it's not only on the infrastructure. It's also on the IT and the OT. I didn't say that I have 80 tools for the OT systems.
Sure.
It's the whole organization.
Great. We cannot have too many questions for one. I suggest that you will meet later. Yes, please.
I have a question for Mr. Aviram at IMCD. So if I understand correctly, of the 36 companies that IMCD regulates, you said you have the framework that you use for regulation is based in this cybersecurity framework and 2443. I wonder, can you expand on what specifically you're requiring from the NIST cybersecurity? Like, do you require the 36 companies to use the NIST cybersecurity framework to structure their cyber program and choose certain controls from the 62443 series that they have to implement, or how do you actually, can you talk about how they actually use the framework?
We build with our framework 5 steps of security procedures, and we go from level 0 to level 5, and level 5 is the most difficult to achieve. Basically, the framework that you spoke about is similar to the framework that we work. The most important thing is to have the management understanding, to build cybersecurity teams, good teams that understand IT and OT, good procedures, and to be ready to any case of emergency, cybersecurity emergency. And we build the system and harden the system in each level, from level 0 to level 5 on the Purdue model. And we basically made a separation between the IT and the OT of the organization. There is 2 different kinds of networks, the business network and the operational level network. We basically separate between them, and we move information from the OT to the IT from unidirectional units. Basically, information that needs to go from the business network to the OT network is synthesized and focus on what need especially checked, marked, and go into the OT networks. And basically, the separation is it's a major huge of procedure that gives the system the ability to stand on any regular attacks, basically.
Right. Thank you.
I'm not talking about national attacks. About
I don't know how long you are planned to be in Israel this time. How many days?
5 days.
5 days is not enough. What I recommend you, I do recommend you, not only because you have to go to the beautiful beaches of Tel Aviv and others, is because in order to understand how we are working, you need also to meet many Israeli companies. Some of them are sitting here to understand our concept, to speak both with consultants, also with companies. I will not tell you what we found about Schneider Electric controllers, but we found good things only, of course. So I do recommend you to do it. And this brings me also to collaboration. That's why we are all here. We cannot work without a real collaboration. And one of the organizations to deal with it is the INCD. Because what really happened when I was one of the founding members of the Israeli National Cyber Directorate, when I came to Mekorot or to IEC, electric company, I was asking the CISO, what do you know about OT? He said nothing. I know only IT, leave me, it works, I don't touch it. Now Udi and all the other people like Deto and Lior, they are speaking about, they call themselves CISO. So they understand, I believe, both IT and OT, because today when you are dealing with the electric company, you don't deal with OT. You merge yourself both with the IT as in the cloud and others. So I do recommend, speak with my friend Vincent, how can you come back and how can you organize all these kinds of meetings?
I will not point out the people, but if you gather all the people around here, you'll find the team that just wrote the base INCD
Correct.
standard. Yeah, they are here. All the team is here.
And as you see, I have to take 2 minutes. You know why we call Israelis a subrus? I have to warn you. You know what is a subrus? It's the fruit of the cactus. Outside, full of thorns. Inside, very sweet. So take a good drug before you start dealing with them, and then you will find them okay. But it is important. And I'm going to... I don't have time. What did you say, sorry?
It's sweet with seeds.
Yes, I said with the thorns. And Lior, before I go to Yigal, you are dealing with cyber, with startups, with all these companies. How do you do it? If you are doing it, because we are all expecting to work with GE as well.
In general, we talked about a lot of stuff. I think that in the end, all of the big vendors, to be honest, they are not cybersecurity companies. There is a need to get all of those elements from cybersecurity companies in order to secure our critical infrastructure. So one of the challenges that we see again and again is that those companies have a really hard time working with the big vendors. It's very different from the standard startup mentality of, you have a concept, you go to a big company, you make the deal of your life, and you became a unicorn or something like that. With a vendor like General Electric, but in general, the process is very different. It's a lot more slower. The expectation in that industry is that you will have a very mature product. It's very hard to work with something which is not finalized and cannot really do everything. The customers will not accept anything less than something that is already in a really good place. And I think that it's a long journey, and it's also a bit complicated because there are multiple groups with different agendas inside those large companies. So with each of them, you need to work differently and show different types of capabilities. In general, if I see with classic IT industry that efforts could take a couple of months, in the industrial space, it could take in years. The process, the discussions, the test, and so on. And it's really hard for startup to deal with that.
Okay. Thank you very much. One thing that I'm asking companies like yours and others, on behalf of the people sitting here on startups, is that don't expect us to work for free. We don't want to do POCs that you will say, you have to thank us that we are coming to you. You have to pay for a POC. It's very important for young companies and for startups and others, so take it very seriously. I'm coming back to Yigal. Industrial manufacturing is first and foremost a business and needs to stay ahead of the competition. Using cloud-based environment allows organizations to improve their efficiency and offering, but cyber issues sometimes prevent those business processes. Can you give us your thought or example about such a successful migration or use of cloud resource?
I believe the best man to answer this question is Deto, but because I was part of the...
as well.
Okay.
First you and then...
Okay. Basically, the difference between OT and IT is in the process. We have to make sure that the process is ongoing. So anything that we can do to improve the process is something that will give us an edge on our competitors and will make us more effective. The best way today to do it is by using cloud resources, AI, a lot of computing power that will be able to understand the process that we are used to do in a certain way for years and make it much more efficient. To do this, we need to connect our systems to the outside world. And in most cases, up until a few years, the basic idea was to create an island, not to connect our system to anywhere. Everything is closed inside, and it doesn't work anymore. We need to connect outside, unless we want to create the cloud in our facilities, which we won't have the experience or the knowledge that we have shared in the cloud. So this is the first thing that we have to mitigate once we are trying to add this capability to our organization. I think the best example for a successful thing like this is what ICL is doing, connecting their PLC to the cloud, getting information from the PLC to the cloud, understanding this information, analyze this information, and getting back the best option for parameters for the process. Of course, this must keep safety, productivity, and availability of the process for any given time, like it was mentioned here. In other places, what I see is going to IoT devices, especially places where we have huge areas, geographical areas to cover. So connecting with IoT devices through cellular infrastructure, through sometimes satellite infrastructure. Also connect your system from the zero level to the outside world. We see this in the last few years, something also that the manufacturers do not pay too much attention to, and we see a lot of devices that comes out, as Lior stated, not ready for the industry, and then we have to deal with it with compensating controls. But really, I will leave the stage to Deto to tell about his experience.
So Deto, everyone is referring to you. You are the last one to speak, and then I ask each one of you to prepare 1 minute only to summarize what he thinks about the real OT-IoT security.
Well, first of all, the ICL employees in the past, please raise the hand just to see how many audience we have here.
Wow.
Okay.
Why in the past?
Okay, why in the past? Because we have here one of the best engineers that was in the past. Itai Buchner.
Okay.
Okay, so ICL is a small company in Israel, 12,000 employees that are in 30 plants all over the world. Most of them in Europe, in China, and United States and Brazil. And we are doing things for the human mind and humankind by giving them good food, without meat, and agriculture with fertilizer for the agriculture, and all the things that the humankind needs for their better life. And inside these issues, we have dangerous material. We have ammonia, we have chlorine, we have bromine, things that are very important to the medicine and to the industry of fertilizers, but they are dangerous. And what will you do when the things are dangerous? You are doing better security. So it's an infrastructure that are they taken care by the state. But there are many other more facilities that are not with hazardous material, that you can do more, you can be more with courage and to do things that are even, that you will not do with dangerous material. We even, we have here a very high representative of BIRD that is sitting here very quietly. And we submitted the request to get the budget for the BIRD, but the BIRD flew to other places and did not decide not to give us the budget, so we decided to invest it by ourselves. As I said before, and INCD were מלווים אותנו, ליוו אותנו.
Follows us.
They saw what we are doing, and they gave us even some more things how to do it better. So as I said before, we went with RFI to the industry and told them we want to connect the cloud to the PLC. How we should do it? Give us the industry, give us the answer. And we went to 5 industries, and from these 5 industries we stayed with 3. And from these 3, we stayed with 2, and we made a contract with two big vendors in Israel to give us a solution to connect from the cloud to the PLC and from the PLC to the cloud. When I said from the PLC to the cloud, because it's another way. There are 2 ways. The way is that from your system to the cloud, and the way back from the cloud to the PLC. And the PLC is not only the same PLC, no. It's, but they said that we have no time, so if you need more information, you will have to ask
Great.
me afterward.
Thank you very much. Okay, we don't have the time to questions to each one of you. As also I saw my very good friend David Abramovich from Trend Micro is here with a guitar, so this is a surprise maybe. We have to dance and sing some songs. So I would like very much to thank, first of all, you all for coming here today, and of course for the best panel that I've ever had, Roth, CISO of Mekorot, Deto Hasson, VP CISO ICL Group, Yigal Gueta, founder and CEO of SCADASUDO, Lior Ateret, director, all the big name of GE Vernova, Aviram, Bachar, director of ICS Center. Thank you very much for coming. I believe that we will need next time more time. Thank you very much, Dedi and Liat.